Ollie Naylor on pole position with Kasper Tomilewski alongside Cameron Nelson and Callum Foster row 2. Harry Hurst-Grover and Rhys Owen on row number 3. Emily Cooper and Christian Stefanoff on row 4 with Archie Carter and Jacob Anslow on row number 5. Marcel Popper-Cull starts 11th, Hamish Forrest alongside with Bartek Filipiak and Martin Wright on row 7. Ben Horner and Jason Duckis row 8. Archie Dyson and Jensen O'Neill going on row 9. The top 20 completed by Joshua Jarvis and Ellis Garrett. Sam Stoner and James Waring are on row 11. Jack Dimbleby and James Kell on row 12. Then it's Ethan Batt and Ollie Poole, Emily Ackett and Gregor Reed, Harrison Bishop and Harrison Purnell, row 15. With Ewan Stevenson, Molly Pugh and Kieran Thompson, completing your junior Rotax grid. So just having a quick look. Don't think we've seen Gregor Reed out. I didn't feel that I saw his number 49 machine being loaded into the back of a van earlier on. So that will explain why he's not out on track. So we're down to 32 rather than 33 runners in our junior Rotax class. In a quick look again into the live chat comments. We've had a good look for Jensen Hookie, not from himself, but that's from his mum and Chloe after my comment earlier that they were commenting from Jensen's own YouTube account. Good luck as well to Ryan White from Mum, Casey and Lucy watching at home, and a well done to Archie Loveridge from Rachel Deans for that Honda Cadet final. Junior Rotax then, rolling round, rolling start of course for this one, and once again it's Ollie Naylor and Kasper Tomilewski on the front row. Naylor will lead them round into the tram lines. They accelerate. And it looks like, nope, false start. They went a little bit too quickly there at the start, I feel there. The acceleration was a little bit too soon. There's a yellow line painted across the track. It's in a roundabout grid between grid positions 9 and 10, and then 11 and 12 are just behind. So looks like the acceleration was a little bit too much there. So we're going to roll around once again. So Ollie Naylor and Kasper Tomilewski off that front row. So Naylor slowing them down once again. He's still trying to work some heat into his tyres. So field still quite spread out at the back, even though Naylor has slowed them down. Maybe people are just conscious they don't want to incur a front fairing penalty with contact as they make their way into the tram lines. And it's another false start. Thought it might be because the power down again very, very early. The field still coming round the final corner. And in heat number 2, Naylor had this perfect. He was very, very wide round the final corner and then hooked into the tram lines perfectly. Let's see whether they can do this again. That's the second attempt at getting this race underway. Field just slowing itself down. There is Naylor in the 85. It's Tomilewski alongside in the number 20 KMS Kart. hopefully we can get this one going. The issue hasn't been how the field has been formed up down the back straight. It's been how quickly they've then approached the start line. Having gone round the right-hander at Raymond's, the power for me has just been going down pretty much up on exit of that corner rather than at the acceleration line, which is painted on the circuit some halfway between the Raymond's hairpin and where the start-finish line here is at Llandow. So we'll see where this one goes this time. Into the tram lines they go. And it is a further false start. I do not believe the message has been conveyed that some of us have got a long way to go home. But we're going to have another attempt at getting this race started. In fact, we have it. The red flag has come out here at Llandow. We've got the 11 off on the side of the track. That's Amelie Ackett's. Her cart has rolled to a halt. Sam Stoner's cart is off as well, but the red flag's out. So if the red flag's out, hopefully they'll be able to get that machine fixed and get it back out again, because if they can, with the red flag being out, we should be able to be a complete restart, and Sam Stoner may well be able to get that 38 machine out onto track. So, red flag is out. The field is rolling round into position. And, we're going to see what the race director decides here. Field have been coming round quite quickly previously, and I've mentioned pretty much every time they've come round that they've been accelerating a lot earlier than what we were expecting them to do. Field is into the tram lines. And Ollie Naylor and Kasper Tomaszewski off the front row. Is it a case that it was those two, or is it a case that there was people further down the field that were having some issues getting themselves into position? Tomaszewski and Naylor being invited by the race director. And in the words, yeah, they've been invited by the race director, in the words of the Fonz, to step into my office. And he's now currently having a conversation with them. We've got mechanics being allowed out onto track, particularly over on the far side. The 11 of Amelie Ackett's cart just being worked on. Just don't know whether Sam Stone is able to get out either out of the pit lane. Their cart was rolled in the number 38 machine. So just making sure everybody is clear. So the 11 of Amelie Ackett's been able to be worked on because we are under a red flag situation. And I'm just having a quick look out the window. We're going to see what's happening with our two leaders. So Amelie Ackett's cart has been moved and she is rolled onto the back of the grid, which is great for the driver of the number 11 machine. She will be able to take part in this final. Don't know whether they'll slot her back into a normal start position. But Callum Foster's cart just being worked on. Looks like the front fairing is just going to be slotted back into position. Just looking out of the window here, we could have a situation where the front row is moved to the back of the field. May well be time for me to dip into my championship regulations again. Although having said that, there is 26 pages or so, or 15. Don't think I'm going to get an opportunity to read all of that before the resumption of this race. We'll have a brief browse while a few engines are started up, and we'll see what's going to happen. Don't know whether they might be given one further opportunity to get it right. We'll see. Completely surmising up here in the commentary box, which is a nice way of saying I'm filling for time whilst we get this race back underway. Not filling for time anymore. I've just had a small orange thrown to me, so I'm going to tuck in my son, as the saying goes. So if you're at home and you can hear some chewing, one does apologise, loosely. And Ollie Naylor's kart and Kasper Tomaszewski's kart are being wheeled to one side here at Llandow. It looks like the entirety of the field are going to be let through. Ollie Naylor and Kasper Tomaszewski are just stood to one side together. I think they're just going to have a chat with each other. Tomaszewski's kart just having the exhaust blown through. If anybody was wondering, that's one small orange eaten in what I believe to be world record time. We'll be applying to Guinness for that one to be dropped in there, to the world records. So now the drivers that were on the second row of Cameron Nelson and Callum Foster just being told by the race director what he's looking for at the start here.
Yeah, what's all this commotion doing?
Ollie Naylor in the 85, Kasper Tomaszewski in the 20. What we're also playing here is a game of musical vehicles, because we're just getting the karts all back into the order that they should be in at the beginning of this rolling start. So at the moment we've got, if you look down there on the grid, we've got enough people if we could get Martin Brundle to do a grid walk down here at this rate, although no Jackie Stewart in order to plough in and get some of the Junior Kart Championship celebrities to come and talk, but plenty of discussions being had down there on the grid. Just trying to get all of this in order so that we can get going. Some carts being lifted just to blow it through. So we just need to get everybody into an order so we can get this one going. We have got Micromax as well in the holding area, ready to come out. Looks like Sam Stoner's kart, the 38, is down there just towards the pit gate exit, and we're just trying to get that started. There's a couple of people looking at that kart for Sam Stoner down there on the left side. So it's just down there, just behind the grid. They're still trying to work on Sam Stoner's kart with a few people. The kart's currently being lifted up onto its side at the moment. They're just trying to... don't know if we can get the camera shot on it. There it is. Number of people just holding that kart up to one side, just trying to fix something on it to try and get Sam Stoner back out for this final. Stoner there with the black helmet, just waiting. This is the thing with karting. The three people that are working on his kart there, none of them are Sam Stoner's dad. Looks like he's gone off to try and get a spare something from somewhere. Three other people, though, just trying to work to try and get that kart back out onto track. So it looks like there's something tightening up on the top there. Final few turns. Hopefully they can get that kart started. That's Harrison Bishop's dad there on the right-hand side, just trying to get Sam Stoner out. Looks like it's started. I can see smoke coming out the engine, although the Micromax drivers just behind, they're going to have a face full of fumes because they are all stood a little close. So is Sam Stoner able to get back in that kart and get back out for this Junior Rotax final? Complete restart, of course, with it being a red flag, so there's absolutely no reason. And Sam Stoner looks like he could well be back in it. If he's not, I've just seen him shake hands with a few people just to say thank you, and it looks like Sam Stoner is wheeling his kart back out onto the grid, and Sam Stoner will take his place in this Junior Rotax final. Ollie Naylor, Kasper Tomilewski move to one side. So the field will come through in a few moments' time. Just trying to see where the race officials are on this one, just to make sure everyone's in the correct position. Looks like Sam Stoner's dad's just trying to figure out where he should be and have a quick chat in terms of position. It is a red flag, so it will be a complete restart with the exception of the two with the front row. Ollie Naylor and Kasper Tomilewski move to one side. Tomilewski now with his feet up on the steering wheel. Looks like he's pretty much accepted it. Ollie Naylor's been sat back in his kart for the last 5 minutes, visor down, staring at his steering wheel. So we're still playing musical karts, and I think in 5 minutes I'm going to go out there and demand that the results for Junior Rotax will be done by a running race of 1 lap from a standing start in the original grid positions to dictate where we're going to go. I think we just need to sort Sam Stoner, because his kart just needed to be put back into position after he wasn't there, but now he is going to be back there. So we're currently playing a game of shuffle the karts around. So if there's anybody in the live chat that wants to keep me entertainment, So I'm having a quick look as well. Lee West saying well done to Sam Green. Tim Winters saying that's Sam Stone, every ounce of effort. And Joshua Owen say commentators knowing their regs at Llandow. Who knew? Who knew that we know our onions? It's almost like we like reading things like regulations. Although to be fair, I do have all 16 pages in front of me for this one. And just for the avoidance of any doubt, I was reading here on the in the starts procedure. It says starts will be rolling except for Honda Cadet and Bambino, which has been like that all day. Penalties may be issued for any driver who is jump start or false starts, and in the event of a continuous false start, the race director may stop the race and move the 2 drivers on the front row to the back of the grid. The race director's decision is final. And that is what has happened here at round number 3 of the Junior Kart Championship, with Ollie Naylor and Kasper Tomaszewski appearing as if they have moved aside. The rest of the field will come through, and Ollie Naylor and Kasper Tomaszewski will have to try and come through this field in this 12-minute plus 1 lap heat, or in this 12-minute plus 1 lap final, sorry. Drivers at the front are all getting into seats, so that means that they should be as they were. Still some shuffle going on further down. Ollie Naylor has finally got out of his cart. He's now walking down the grid to speak to a few people, getting a commiseratory handshake there from a few as well. But he's going to be in a position now where he's going to have to charge through this field. As we look out the window, the shuffle of carts is going further towards the back, so hopefully we should be able to get going here in a few moments' time. I mean, I'm all for a random grid final. We just randomly pick them out of a hat, or put them in number order. If you pick number 2 or whatever, you just get to go off the front. We'll just do them like that. I mean, it's not going to work much for Rhys Owen. He's in the 99. He'd be going off the back row, but you know, it is what it is. You know, let's get this one going. And so a few drivers have made their way over just to say hello to a few people. Now it looks like they're all heading back towards their carts. Ewan Stevenson's just being pushed onto the side in the 57. Looks like Amelie Ackitts has been able to retake her original grid position as well in the 11, so that's moved her up from a few places from where she was expecting to be, because having rolled to a halt on the rolling up lap. So hopefully we're in a position to get this one going. I do hope for the sake of going home that Cameron Nelson and Callum Foster, who will now go off the front row, get this one right on the rolling up lap, because I'd hate for them to have 3 attempts and then it go back to Harry Hurst, Grover and Rhys Owen, although I'm sure they won't mind, on now the de facto second row. Sam Stoner's cart is now being rolled forward once again into position. So we're still waiting. There's less filling in a pucker pie than what's happening right now here in the commentary box. Other pies are delicious too. Bartek Felipe X Karts on the other side. So I might keep thinking of just random ways of bringing this junior Rotax final to a conclusion. I think we should maybe have a Le Mans style start where we just line the karts up in single file and make them run across the track. Rock, paper, scissors tournament, because we do have 32, so that works nicely, doesn't it? Down to 16, then 8, and then into a semi-final. We could even do that with a toss of a coin as well, couldn't we? Do it best of 3 or something like that. Or we could just we could arrange the tyres into a big square and have an over-the-top tyre Royal Rumble. Last one still in the ring. Been asked by our director if we want to run a couple of adverts. The answer to that is yes.
Welcome to Alpha Live, the live streaming service where you can be part of the action from home. You can watch via your smart TV, phone, tablet, or even your gaming console. We've got you covered. Just head to the YouTube app on any of your devices and search for Alpha Live. Here you can watch all of the events as they unfold, or you could choose from our vast library for those lazy days in, all in beautiful HD. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and click on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos.
Side by side, who's going to be the bigger man? Oh, big off! Straight in the gravel trap, both cars out.
Is it going to work for Sean? He slides up the inside, he's getting very close, he's not made it.
Have you ever seen a championship decided like that?
Welcome back to Llandow. We're still waiting the resumption of this junior Rotax final. So just slotting what I hope to be the final kart in position. Looks like it's the 84 of Harry Friel, although they are much easier to just pick up and put back down because they don't wheel around quite as well as you'd hope. Particularly when it's a fixed rear axle rather than a slip diff. Ewan Stevenson down the far end of the grid, he just slots his helmet back on his head. And at the moment, still not having the grid cleared. At the moment. So, final few people, looks like we are having the grid cleared. Ollie Naylor and Kasper Tomaszewski's karts parked to one side at the moment on the start grid. Final few helpers making their way off. Here we go then in junior Rotax. We're going to get a rolling up lap. We're going to get the instruction in a few moments to start the engines for the drivers down there on the grid. And it will now be Cameron Nelson and Callum Foster off the front row as Kasper Tomaszewski just sits there with his legs up on the steering wheel again. Tomaszewski and Naylor stationary as they wait for the rest of the field, and then they rejoin in the final two places, 31st and 32nd respectively, for Ollie Naylor and Kasper Tomaszewski. Emma Hurst-Grover on, just like I need any more anxiety for the race. Come on, Harry Hurst-Grover 14, and good luck to Emily Cooper from Kimberly Tinker. So it looks like we could finally be getting this one going here in Llandow. Penultimate final of the day. Micromax still to go after this one. Nelson and Foster leading them round then down the back straight with Ollie Naylor and Kasper Tomaszewski. We've still got one kart going slowly down the back straight, still out of position, so just looks like they're going to roll in off the back of the grid after a problem. I'm going to try and keep an eye out as to what number kart that was. Nope, they're still trying to regain position down the back straight right before the final corner as well. The 31. That's Archie Dyson. Into the tram lines we go. It's a false start, which, it's a false start. We're going to have to give it another whirl, unfortunately, in junior Rotax. Got a driver stationary on the outside of the hook corner. Don't know what number it is. Looks like it could well be. Got another kart going slowly there. That's the number 12. It's not. That's the 42. Ellis Garrett's kart slow. Stationary, and Ellis Garrett is climbing out of the kart, the 42 machine. Disappointment for Garrett, and the kart rolled off onto the outside. So let's see whether we can get this one going again. The issue that we've had throughout the restarts, this one being the fourth one, in fact this will be the fifth one. We had 3 attempts before the original red flag, and then this one now as well, is the point in which the drivers are accelerating out of the final corner. It's not that they haven't been in formation. Once again, the 31 of Archie Dyson trying to get into position down the back straight. Now he is going to roll in. Just getting it going. As they go into the final corner, they've just got to be slow to the acceleration line. Through we go. There's contact into the back by the 89 of Archie Carter into the back of Emily Cooper, but Cooper survives and moves through up into 5th place. So we are away and racing finally in junior Rotax. Yellow flag is out at the post. We've got Molly Pugh's kart rolling to a halt on the outside of the hook complex of corners. She's out of the kart trying to move it out. She's dragging it away herself to try and keep this race under green flag conditions. The marshal over to help, but Molly Pugh just trying to get that kart out of the way. Yellow flag is in, so we are still away and racing here with Nelson leading the way. From now Harry Hurst-Grover up into 2nd place. Callum Foster in front of Rhys Owen. So we make the moves down. Looking in the background, Ollie Naylor down the inside. Let's see where he is. Cameron Nelson leading them from Hurst-Grover, Foster, Owen, Cooper, Stefanoff, Carter, Anslow, Wright, Duckis, Filipiak, Joshua Jarvis, Jensen O'Neill going, James Waring, Sam Stoner with Archie Dyson, Ben Horner, Jack Dimbleby, Ollie Naylor up to 19 in front of James Kell. That rounds out your top 20. Drivers making their way round the Chandler's right-hander. We've got the 25 of Kieran Thompson off into the pit lane. So we are down at least 3 runners. So we're down into the 29s now. Of the 32 from the beginning. So with Molly Pugh and Kieran Thompson, we've got 28 runners remaining with Hamish Forrest, the final one of those, in 28th place. Cameron Nelson, though, with the fastest lap. And got some big moves. Tomaszewski up inside the top 20. He charges back through. Makes up 3 places on that previous lap. Cameron Nelson leads from Harry Hurst Grover. Top 5 have broken away. Emily Cooper just off the back. So they make the run down the back straight towards Raymond's. Looks like it's Martin Wright in the 41 now making the move down the inside. He'll be through on Archie Carter, I think, and he's moved himself up. No, it's Kevin Christian Stefanovs. It's Archie Carter in 6th place, Martin Wright in 7th. Cameron Nelson once again with the fastest lap, although Harry Hurst Grover going with him, only 3.5 tenths of a second behind. And there's a gap back to Callum Foster, Rhys Owen and Emily Cooper in 5th place. Then it's Carter and Wright, some 1.4 back. They're going to have to work together to try and close in on Emily Cooper in 5th place. See them in the background, although Martin Wright is down the inside. He's going to move up on Archie Carter for 6th place, and through he comes. Fastest lap from Rhys Owen, quickly eclipsed though by Martin Wright with a 44.658. Front of Jacob Anslow, Christian Stefanovs and Bartek Filipiak up inside the top 10. Have a quick look as to where the other two are that we're looking out for. I'm going to click them on the timing screen. Ollie Naylor, Kasper Tomilewski, 16th and 17th respectively as it stands, both making up a place on the previous lap. As Harrison Bishop dropped 3 down into 28th place. Tough lap for him. As Harry Hurst Grover looks to have closed in ever so slightly there on Cameron Nelson at the front. The gap down to 2 tenths of a second. There, James Waring would move that, looks like that down the inside there in the 28. And Ollie Naylor forcing his way through as well. Kasper Tomilewski trying to find a way through. Now up onto the back of Bartek Filipiak, who was 12th on the previous lap. They're trying to find their way through. Ollie Naylor, Kasper Tomilewski. Heading towards the top 10, still not even at half race distance yet. Nelson and Hurst Grover, the top 2, have broken away from Foster and Rhys Owen, Emily Cooper, Martin Wright, Jacob Anslow and Archie Carter, Jason Duckis and James Waring round out your top 10, with Ollie Naylor and Bartek Filipiak in 11th and 12th, Kasper Tomilewski 13th, and Ollie Naylor, who was having a GoPro fastened to his cart by the Driven Dreams team before the start of this final, or the resumption of it at least, after he'd been moved to the back. We'll be collecting some superb footage at the very least. He's now right on the back of the 16 of Jason Duckis. He's down the inside as well. Duckis is going to try and come back at Ollie Naylor. Naylor's going to try and sweep all the way around the outside and does. And Ollie Naylor's up into 9th place, having started outside of the top 30. Kasper Tomilewski not too far back either. And Ollie Naylor scything through this field. Leaders, the top 2 are as they were, Nelson and Hurst Grover. Then it's Foster, Owen and Cooper, although Cooper currently being reeled in by Martin Wright and Jacob Anslow. Looking out the window for the field coming through. Ollie Naylor's gone missing. Don't know where he's gone outside the top 10, but Ollie Naylor off the track, down on the outside of the Surtees hairpin for Ollie Naylor. There's his cart. He's already sat down inside the marshal's post. Anslow, Carter, now Tomilewski up to 9th. James Waring in P10. So that rounds out your top 10 as it is. Front of Duckis and Filipiak. Not seeing any warnings or anything up on the screen yet. could explain anything to do with Naylor being off. Cameron Nelson, though, continuing to lead the way from Harry Hurst Grover. Then it's Callum Foster, Rhys Owen, and Martin Wright now inside the top 5, having found a way past Emily Cooper. Onto the back straight they go. Cameron Nelson leading the way. From Harry Hurst Grover, Callum Foster and Rhys Owen. Martin Wright once again with the fastest lap of the race. Ollie Naylor takes sanctuary there down there in the second marshal's post. The 31 is in the pit lane as we've got the 17 off on the outside of the corner. That's Christian Stefanovs. He was on the outside of the top 10. 16th place for Stefanovs, having run inside the top 10. Callum Foster and Rhys Owen still battling it out for third place, with Martin Wright, Emily Cooper, and just behind them the 29 of Jacob Anslow being dragged along as well. Callum Foster, Rhys Owen, Martin Wright now, right with Rhys Owen. Kasper Tomilewski sets the fastest lap of the race in 9th place. Here's your battle for third then. Foster, Owen and Martin Wright bouncing over the rumble strip on the outside. Foster throwing the cart around like a dog toy into the Dell and Diggers complex, out onto the back straight. Leaders are as you were, still with a gap of around about 0.4 of a second between Nelson and Hurst Grover. Martin Wright though now right on the back of Rhys Owen, trying to find a way through. Oh, and this contact there, Rhys Owen tips Callum Foster round down at the left-hander at Surtees. Callum Foster from third place. He's had a great weekend, pushing his cart back, trying to get it free out of the tyres. He's going to try and turn it round down there, is Callum Foster, to rejoin this race, but he's going to be well down the order. Callum Foster from third place, turned round by Rhys Owen, with Martin Wright now taking third place. Foster will drop all the way down. He'll be outside the top 20, I feel here. Tomilewski up into 5th place. Anslow, Cooper, Carter, Waring and Filipiak. Tomilewski might not have enough to close in now. 2 minutes to go plus 1 lap. He's got 3 seconds to close in on Rhys Owen in 4th place. But Kasper Tomilewski with a great charge through, as was Ollie Naylor's before him, before Ollie Naylor was off into retirement down there at Surtees. Almost joined a few moments ago by Callum Foster. In 3rd place, Cameron Nelson and Harry Hurst Grover. Still battling out for the lead. Nelson, though, with a gap now of 0.6 of a second from Hurst Grover. 1 minute and 16 remaining. They are going to get round in enough time to get additional laps in. Could be a 17-lap final at this rate. For Nelson, leading the way from Hurst Grover. Still winding the screw, opening up the gap by 0.6 of a second. Out to 0.7. Still, it's going to be a race here as to whether they get round for an extra lap again. They are so close. The 64 is rolling to a halt of Jack Dimbleby on the outside of the first corner into the hook. Yellow flag will be out over start finish. It is So no overtaking on entry into there until they're past the incident, but Jack Dimbleby's day is over with 3 laps to go. He's looking down, looks like the chain may well have come off that machine, and he rolls off into retirement. Half a second the gap down. They got through prior to the time elapsing. Hurst Grover takes 2.5 tenths out of Cameron Nelson at the front. 2 laps to go. Now is where Hurst Grover needs to turn this one up, find some wick and try and close in on Cameron Nelson. 2.5 tenths. We've got the 24 rolling to a halt as well of Ethan Bath. He's going to roll out into retirement. He's on the outside. That kart going very, very slowly. Yellow flag waving once again over the start finish. That comes out now as Ethan Bath rolls off to the outside. Needs to get out of the kart and he does so. Harry Hurst Grover, Cameron Nelson battle for the lead. Last lap board this time round. The gap down once again. 0.3 of a second. Harry Hurst Grover closing in. Goes slightly wide round the hook complex of corners. Couldn't overtake there anyway. But the yellow flag being out. Hurst Grover closing in. Nelson, who's led this race from the green at the start, being reeled in right at the end by Harry Hurst Grover. Up they go towards the final right-hand corner at Chandler's. Then into a final complex. They come up towards the Dell. In they go. Round Diggers. Can Hurst Grover get a good enough run out of the final corner? He closed in, but I don't think he's going to be close enough as they head down towards Raymond's for the final time. Cameron Nelson wins at Llandow from Harry Hurst Grover. That's your top 2. Then it's going to be Martin Wright, Rhys Owen and Kasper Tomaszewski in P5 from Jacob Anslow, Emily Cooper, James Waring, Archie Carter and Bartek Filipiak, I think, will come through. No, he's been forced out. It's Jason Duckis who completes the top 10 from Sam Stoner. Then it's Bartek Filipiak, Ben Horner and Hamish Forrest for 14th place in front of Ollie Poole, Jensen O'Neill going, Ellis Garrett, although he won't be there because he retired on the opening lap. I think it's Harrison Purnell in 16th behind Joshua Jarvis with James Kell and Callum Foster recovering to 20th place.